But Noa Essengue or Essengue. I listened to multiple different pronunciations, multiple different broadcasts, Ethan. I got both. So don't have a confirmed one there. But if anybody is from France who's watching, because I know we do have a couple people that are Wemby fans out there, let us know what Noah's pronunciation is for his last name. But super young and gangly athlete whose constellation and unrefined talents could point to star upside. I think there's some truth to that. But I also think that the player comps down here are, are I think they're accurate. I'll just put it that way. Like Bilal Coulibaly, Tayshaun Prince is probably like best case scenario. From what I watched from him, there was a lot of things that stood out. And obviously there's the French connection with Victor and everything like that. And he's, I think, the second youngest player in the draft next to Cooper Flagg. So a lot of long-term potential, as well as, again, being kind of a 3-4, as much as I would classify Noah as a little bit more of a 3, as much as long-term, he has the size and length to play the 4. When it comes to his game, though, I feel like all of it's flashes. And also because he's playing in the German league, it's hard to tell how much of it is going to translate. And as much as we've been seeing more guys, from the Euro League or the NBL or whatever it may be, come over and have a little bit more success, I don't think there's anybody this season, like from the German league, who's really going off. He is teammates with Ben Saraf, who could potentially be a lottery pick, or I'm pretty sure he's going to be a lottery pick. Let me stop. Potentially could maybe be somebody that falls to the Spurs at 14. That's what I was getting at there. So he is playing with like other, top tier kind of prospects. But again, just because of the league he's playing in, it's hard for me to concretely say that all of the positives that I saw on tape are just going to translate. And I know you could say that for, every player technically. But again, as we've talked about kind of when we made the comparison last mock draft between Nolan Traore and Jace Richardson, we just felt a little bit more secure in Jace Richardson because of what we saw him do at Michigan State. And that's kind of how I feel with this one when it comes to Carter Bryant and Noah, with just what I saw him do on a Blue Blood in March Madness.
Yeah. I think a couple of years ago, Jude, this would have been a prospect both of us would have been really high on because of his frame, his potential. He's French. I did read a couple different articles that compared him to guys like Nick Batum, right, and said he had a lot of potential as a playmaker and his versatility as a defender, obviously athletic. But these guys are always kind of a flip of a coin, and maybe in a couple of years we really regret this decision because he's, a Giannis, right? Like we're nobody saw it coming. But he could also, no disrespect, be Alexei Pokuchevsky, who OKC drafted a few years
Or
ago.
Isaac Bonga.
Or Isaac Bonga, or even Darius Baisley. No disrespect to him either. Tayshaun Prince, I would take. I think that's outstanding. But I also watched a little bit of tape, and I don't know if he's Tayshaun.
No.
So we were a couple of years ago. We were in our teens, right? We were all for a risky decision, and now we're in our mid-20s, Jude, and we're looking for a 401k, a reliable paycheck, and I just think there are players at 14.
We're married now. We've got Victor.
Right, exactly. And even if you want to take a flyer on one of these picks, right, like we've been talking about, I think there are other guys that will be available that can be classified as a flyer that I feel more safe with.
I think best case scenario, he's Bilal Coulibaly.
Which is fantastic.
I'm not saying that just because he's French. Like genuinely, if you go watch Noa Essengue, you'll see he's very lengthy. Like we talked about it, let me scroll up here. They describe him as super young and gangly athlete, right? So he's got a lot of length and athleticism, but very thin coming into the league at 194, similar to Bilal Coulibaly. Like you said, long term, maybe in 4 years, this dude, is a borderline all-star. You know what I mean? Like you said, and he's on like that Giannis track. And it's like, man, that would have been crazy. But I feel like whatever those services that he's going to provide, we're going to have the assets to acquire that. And then on top of that, we're going to have, he's probably not going to get picked at 14 if I'm just being realistic. That's the other thing. I made this last week. I'm realizing that as well, as much as I think Carter Bryant is a realistic conversation as well. maybe he's, you know what I'll say, Ethan? If for some reason he just falls, I don't think this is going to happen, but I would gladly take him with the 39th pick. That's not going to
Yeah.
happen. But
This is an ideal second round pick. This would be fantastic. But yeah, at with a lottery pick, I don't see it.
yeah, there's just too many guys that are more of a sure thing, even as draft prospects, that will have the ability to draft. So